Alrighty, so it is 6 a.m. and the patch notes are out for JP. We have the Part 2 update patch notes. It's a day early for some reason. I did see somebody on JP Twitter saying that that the update was on Wednesday, so I was like, oh, that means that I think the patch notes they're coming soon, because they, for some reason on JP, they always post a notice the day before the patch notes come out, which is the day before the update comes out, which is really weird. But anyways, we do have the actual patch notes and everything right here, and we do have Percival, and we do have Wild. I know that Wild is going to be in the Part 2 of the Jumping Box event, which is kind of interesting, so we'll look at the banner really quickly here. We do have both green units, so it was literally green Escanor, green Percival, and now green Wild. So that is pretty interesting. I kind of want to go ahead and translate this page. We do have the translations for the characters and everything already from Kane. I guess that is the nice thing about me waking up a little late to this, because I'm not exactly sure when they come out. I assume it's maybe 5 a.m. But Kane already does have his translations out, I think, for roughly like 15 minutes or so. So let me get... Okay, so never mind. Here is the page, and then we can read over the character stuff and everything as well. The Percival Banner looks like he is rated up to 0.5%. And then you have Tarmiel, Valentine's Day Deanne is on here, as well as New Year's King. So this is, I think this is going to be considered a seasonal banner, which is maybe good or bad. But you do have LR Liz on here as well, which is really nice. You have Demon Cusack and Demon Chandler, the New Year's Mono, the new Camilla, and the Elat. Also Shin, I forgot to mention him. Pretty good, I think. Overall, that's actually not too bad. Let me pull back up this page right here. It's looking like there's a couple of things that don't want to load, but while I'm letting that load, we can look at the translations here. So let's go ahead and just full screen that. We have Beginning of an Adventure, Child of Hope, Percival. Passive is New Beginning. At the start of the battle, apply a Will of Endurance for 2 turns to the unit. Will of Endurance is take 30% of damage given to allies to the unit and heals 50% of the damage taken. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Specific allies are humans and 7 deadly sins. Are you kidding me? There's another 7 deadly sins unit? Oh my god. Alright, so that is really interesting. They're giving more Sin support, even though the Sins are the best team in the game right now. He sounds like a tank slash like taunt unit with like a Tarmiel built in. That's very weird. For every specific ally in the battlefield, increases that specific ally's defense-related stats by 10%. Also, when the unit uses a single target card to the enemy, apply concentrated attack to that enemy for 2 turns, and for every alive ally, increases the unit's HP related stats by 10%. For every dead ally, increases the unit's critical damage by 100%. So he's kind of like Glocks in a way, which is kind of interesting. Concentrated attack is critical resistance minus 30% at the enemy's turn when attacked by 2 single target skills, increases damage taken by 50%. Damage increase applies once. Huh. So also when the unit uses a single target skill or single target card to the enemy, and then if they use 2 single targets, that's kind of weird. Lively Combo is his first skill, inflicts rush damage by 450% of attack, and it's a single target. He has 2 single targets actually. And Rush is critical chance times 2 when attacking enemy with concentrated attack applied. Increases damage by 100%. Okay, so double damage. Is this the card? No, it's not the same card that Arthur has. Second skill is Immature Slash. Inflict damage by 450% of attack to a single enemy and reduces ultimate move gauge by 3. So that's just an ult drain card. Ultimate is Slap of Anger. Apply buff that increases attack-related stats by 50% for 2 turns to the unit, and apply debuff that increases damage taken by 50% to a single enemy and inflict sever damage by 750% of the attack. Okay. What an interesting character. Really quickly, can I move this box? Let's look. Okay, so he is a backliner, which is kind of cool. So he's a new Sins or human backliner. The humans have needed a new backliner, so this actually might not be like terrible for that sense. I kind of doubt people are going to be using him too much on the Sins team, if I'm being honest. Merlin does kind of give you basic stats, and if you're running Bond, you get damage reduction, which is also pretty helpful. So that's kind of interesting. Let's look at the ultimate animation really quickly. I don't even have my headset on, so I don't even know how loud this is. Okay. So let's watch that one more time. Okay, so he's got his cool little knife that he gets from Vargas. Knocks him up into the air. Knocks him down into the ground. Okay, very basic. Very basic. Let's look at Wilds really quickly, and then we'll go over his skills as well. God, that was loud. I'm so happy we're getting Wild, though. Wild is so cool. Nice. Okay, his is extremely simple, so nothing crazy going on there at all. He is a frontline unit, so let's go over his kit really quickly. He seems very bare bones from the look of it. Let's go over him. War of Purgatory Wild, Proud Brother. Passive is Big Bro is here. When entering the battlefield with a specific unit, increases the specific unit and the unit's all stats by 50%. So specific units are Captain Hawk and Hawk and Oslo. I kind of like the idea behind that. I do really like Hawk and Oslo units sometimes. The red one is so much fun to me. Don't really think this is going to be a good unit. He's obviously a little gimmicky, but I like the Wild nonetheless. Inflicts pierce damage by 500% of attack on a single enemy, so pierce single target card, and then Rush Wild, which is inflict damage by 450% of attack to a single enemy and reduces ultimate move gauge by 3. So another ult drain card. Okay, you have a Sever Ultimate, and it is a single target with 945% of attack. So he is obviously a gimmick unit. Nothing great there, but I guess it is what it is. But we do have some other interesting things in the banner itself. This right here, I'm not really sure why the second part of that is like that. I'm not really sure. It seems like there might be some sort of mechanic to this banner. I'm not 100% sure on that, but let me translate this page just in case really quickly to make sure I'm not missing anything. So I would assume it would be in the notes right here. Okay, so mileage for this gacha is 3 miles for 1 draw and 30 miles for 11 draws, so that's very, very normal. The reward for achieving 600 mileage can be obtained by selecting one SSR from the character lineup. Okay, so it's not just you don't get just a guaranteed Percival. You can choose any unit on here, including the new character. Okay. The new character, Percival, will not be added to the permanent gacha, so he is a seasonal character. Okay, so maybe it's just part of the graphic or something like that. I'm not really sure. I don't really see anything indicating that this is different, but maybe we'll see it whenever it hits the game or something. But either way, let's look at some of the things here. We have the 7 Deadly Sins, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse prologue. The Boy Departs added, so this is going to be chapter. It's not. I guess it's not technically chapter 1. It's like chapter 0. So if you clear chapter 30. the prologue of the 7 Deadly Sins will open. So you'll get the four horsemen if you can beat chapter 30. A little unfortunate because chapter 30 is pretty hard with the Cath fight, but I guess that's understandable. You gotta beat the old story to get to the new one. We do have the Percival's Camp new bar setting, which is pretty cool. So we have a brand new tavern location, which is awesome. We do have new costumes for Percival, of course, and I have to say, I'm not a super big fan of these costumes, but they do seem pretty Percival-esque. This one really reminds me of like a Dragon Quest main character, and then this one is just kind of like jacket, modern look, and then you have also another modern kind of looking one with a set of overalls, which I don't know, honestly not a big fan of any of them. I guess he's in the backline either way, so it's not going to really matter what he's wearing, to be fair. But other than that, we have a couple of new bundles, it looks like. The step up power up bundle is getting refreshed if you haven't gotten that already. Ooh, 2 types of sales are back on. First purchase thank you Super Deluxe Diamond Pack will only be displayed for 12 hours after purchasing the pack for the first time. Will not be displayed. What is this thing? Memory Parchment can now be obtained from Chapter Clear Pack. Is an item that has a story chapter skip function. This looks like it's 10 or 10? Is that 10 or is that? Yeah, I think that's roughly like $10, I think. Kinda, sorta. I don't know what the actual conversion rate is. They're selling story chapter skip ticket, which is interesting. Like, you can skip the story chapter you're on. That might be helpful for some people, of course, because it does get kind of hard around some of those. Like, I know the original Demon, I still get comments on that video from time to time because people can't beat that one. Some of the Demon King fights are still really, really hard, and this new Cath fight are pretty hard, but I would hope that you would just kind of work on your account maybe a little bit, but the fact that they're selling a skip ticket for it is very bizarre to me. We do have the Jumping Box Part 2. You are going to get a bunch of those tickets and a free multi on Percival's Banner for the special missions, it looks like, and you're going to get a level 1 to 90 token as well. In the Jumping Box Part 2 event, you're going to get a copy of Red Thonar. So I'm pretty sure in part 1 you got a Magelda and a Jormungand, which means you get the bird and the deer unit. Now you are getting the dogs unit, which is kind of nice for newer players. You're going to get another copy of this Arthur. I think that'll make him 5/6 because they've given out, this will be the 5th copy that they've given out at this point. Ragnarok Merlin for free is also pretty interesting because if you're trying to do Ratatasker, I know they've given out the Jelly King in the past, and you need Jelly King and Ragnarok Merlin if you don't have the newer Blue Valenti. Wild is obviously in here. He's a little bit later on. You also have a UR jumping ticket, which is a selection ticket. You can choose any of these festival characters. That's actually kind of nice. I think Gother and Merlin are both not 6/6 for me, so that's another free festival character that you're going to be able to get. I would say out of this lineup, probably the Red Deanne is best, just because she's like actually still relevant, kinda, sorta, not like super relevant, but either way, decent little selection ticket there. I assume a lot of people are probably gonna pick Assault Mode Melee if they're newer players, just because he's got that cool factor to him. Chaos Battle Season 5 is going to be coming out. Oh boy, that will be fantastic, I'm sure. And then we have Grand Festival Item Shop Special Sale Event. Okay, so for diamonds, you'll be able to buy some of these rewards. Last time I bought the pendants one. This time I might end up buying that SA coin one because I'm getting dangerously close to finishing my SA6. But with this update, I'll have to do Percival and I'll have to do Wild powered up. So I'll probably end up having to hold on to whatever I have at the moment and not work on that for another week or two. But that's fine. The Grand Cross Fort Solgris dungeon is going to have 5 SA coins a day. Dude, we're getting so many SA coins lately. It's fantastic. New battle event. We have the Fort Solgris improvements are a really big part of this patch that I was interested in. Added chapter skip function. Oh, from the memory parchment thing. So the 6th floor will be added to the event dungeon. Sarah's Spire, the gold dungeon. Gauge rewards for reinforcement evolution event and gold dungeon will be changed. Okay. Okay, so instead of giving you 1 potion when you fill the gauge, you now get 3. You now get 3 books instead of 1. You now get 2 SSR pendants instead of 1, and you now get a UR chest instead of an SSR chest. Still really would have hoped that they would have made it a 6-star potion, and these would have been 6-star books, but maybe the books aren't too bad considering I think you do need the most 5-star books when you're powering up a character for the first time. I'm not 100% sure on that. I do like the way that the UI looks a little bit more now, but I don't know if that was really the improvement that I was looking for. Hopefully the like the stages and stuff like that maybe have some new stuff as well. Attribute-based reinforcement dungeons and Fort Silvers will be integrated, and the dungeon's icon arrangement will be changed. I want to say that they said something about adding a new difficulty as well, but it doesn't say anything in this right here about that, so I'm not really sure. Crazy. Okay, I was not expecting all of this kind of stuff, I guess, but hey, it's pretty good stuff for a festival, I have to say. The Chaos Battle and everything coming back is pretty cool. The final boss as well. It's a lot of extra rewards and everything. So not really sure what to think about the Percival and the Wild unit just yet. Wild is obviously a gimmick one. But the fact that Percival is for humans and sins, just like Escanor was, is a bit odd, I have to say. But, I mean, hey, you know, it is what it is. We'll see him whenever he comes out of the game, and we'll mess around with him a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. Banner looking pretty okay, surprisingly. Like, it has, you know, I want the LR Liz, I want the New Year's Kings, I want the the Valentine's Day Dianes, and maybe I could use some copies of the other characters as well. And because he's a 0.5, it's actually not too bad. And depending on like how many copies I pull of him, I could potentially just pick Liz to get extra copies of her. So I don't know, that's kind of cool. Either way, that should be pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow.